yeah,
Nice.
I'm excited about the new Vive. Just don't know how much it's gonna cost or if I can even use it, because I'm border specs right now when it comes to hardware. So it'll work as an AR headset too. Yes, it will. It should. I don't have it enabled to where I can actually show the camera. I could probably do that. Remind me if we take a break or something. Remind me, and I might be able to do it. And then you can like sort of see some of the stuff that it can do. I have to remember how to enable it though. But it's also very process heavy. So it's one of the reasons I don't keep it on by default, because it will slow things down. And with this game, definitely don't want that. In fact, I'm getting a bit of lag right now already. There's gonna be more. But I tell you what, I get excited about. I'm so excited about like the future of VR as long as it can hold its ground. The worrisome part is it can't hold because it's a very expensive endeavor right now. Let's see. Plus, oh yeah, I think they were adding two microphones to the front, because there is a microphone on the Vive, but it is in the worst fucking spot. And it has no pop filter on it. It's directly under the nose. It is right here. And the quality is not the greatest, and plus the fact that it's directly under your nose, you can hear people breathing, and without a pop filter, of course, you hear every puh sound. And so it really didn't get used. So I think what they're doing is they're also creating two microphones on it, which won't have as much of a use, but I think maybe it positions it a little bit better. And then, oh yeah, it also has the new head strap, and it'll have built-in headphones that you can use. And then they're also releasing an official wireless attachment for it. So then, you know, no wires. You won't have to wear wires with headphones or the headset itself, which would be really good. So I find in room scale, you know, if I'm playing and not worrying about turning around, it's very easy to get twisted up in the cables. Okay, that's where we're supposed to go. Let's go back down here. Clear out. Well, PC gaming can be considered to be an expensive endeavor by itself, and it's stayed relevant in the years. That is true. It's just, it's such a tight market share. Because, I mean, you know, PC gaming, of course, had the bonus of PCs being work machines. You know, like mine is. Mine, you know, I work from it, all kinds of stuff. So, you know, whereas VR, it's dedicated pretty much to gaming and some apps. I mean, there are apps, and, you know, that's what some people are trying to create with it.
Blue, we're not alone.
We're not.
I see.
Dead. it's coming for me. Nope.
Blue.
Any more? I'll matrix your ass. So yeah, like I was saying, PC gaming, of course, remains strong because, it's a multi-purpose machine. But, the thing of it is with hardware, everything is becoming, VR ready. A lot of PCs that are coming out now are already VR ready, on average. So, and all that really needs to happen is the headsets need to kind of come down in price, but of course the technology is new, and with it being such a small group, it'll take it a little while. But I'm confident that hopefully, we'll see we'll see VR really stick it out, because VR is.
I thought the lifts in Diamond City were fancy.
Thought the what in Diamond City were fancy? Here we go. Guess I don't need that anymore. Let's see, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing, Dr. Elliot, do you copy? I do, Kenneth. Everything good over there? Just another drill day, right, Overseer? It is, thank God for that. Overseer, there are just 3 of us over here. What's going on? Olivet, are you getting this? Sorry, Kevin. It's been a madhouse on this side. Only 3. Myself, Jim Flint, and that kid Burrow. Where's everyone else? Not over here. Residents are being admitted. They started showing up in droves once the news started broadcasting. That's the same way I heard. You'd think Vault-Tec would have had enough warning to call at least a beta drill for staff this morning. Something must have gone wrong. We've been pretty limited down here, but we've been focused on antibiotics and our first Petri trials underway. I saw the data last night. It's promising, but do you think it's ready? The trials just started, and the virus we're going after has a few days of inoculation, but I'm optimistic that later this will see positive results. Okay, keep me posted, and don't begin Phase 2 trials until I have an opportunity to go through the new data. And of course, have a good afternoon, Overseer. Overseer, do you have a minute? The system isn't instantaneous, Burrow. I hope you haven't been waiting for a reply all morning. Sorry, Overseer. I wanted to notify you about the issue with our food extruder. Okay, I see it now. Looks like a clog in the protein tank. You weren't able to address it on your end? No, Overseer. Hardware failures on the residential side must be addressed over there. We can't get to the tank nozzles to repair them. Okay, Burrow. I'll have maintenance down there immediately. Go to standby and have Collins contact me if there are still issues in about 10 minutes, okay? Thank you, Overseer. I'll go there now. Good news, Dr. Olivet. We've tweaked our formula based on Phase 1 trial results, and I think we're ready to go with the Phase 2. How's the mole rat population doing? Very well. The specimens Vault-Tec provided are remarkably hardy. Flint has been doing the radiation testing on them. Is that in the protocols? Not technically, but we noticed some weird stuff with the kibble provided for them. Burrow got pretty sick for a day or 2, don't ask. Flint's been looking into it. These suckers are big to begin with, and we're thinking it's genetic. Tampered with, something like that. I think Vault-Tec. Must have been running some experiments with them. They're all unusually large. A few demonstrate bioluminescence. At least one appears more intelligent than normal. Do you think there's still a useful control? We've divided the colony, separated the most unusual specimens, and put the control colony in a new diet taken from our food supply. It's not ideal, but I think we'll be okay. I think we're okay. Very well. Give me the evening to go over your data again. And I think you're clear to begin Phase 2 unless I find anything I don't expect. Overseer? Yes, bro, what is it? I've noticed an issue with our delivery mechanisms. Do you know if anyone has tampered with the nozzles on the residential quarter side? I don't know. What are you going to do with... I don't know. What are you doing with the delivery system anyway? The Phase 2 trial just began. I know, Overseer. I just thought it would be a good idea to run tests on the delivery system before we reach Phase 3. If we reach Phase 3, human trials are not to be undertaken lightly. What kind of tests are you hoping to run anyway? Just a placebo vapor to make sure the nozzles are dispensing mist properly. The residents wouldn't even know we had done anything. I guess that's the idea, though. I'll look into the nozzle issue on my end, Burrow. In the meantime, please do not use the delivery system without my direct approval. Doctor, please get in touch. I know what you've done. Honestly, I don't blame you. Performing the Phase 3 trial on non-consenting humans is a breach of ethics, at least according to the world we used to live in. I can keep Burrow together for a while, but Flint's already suspicious. What are we supposed to do over here? I can only lie to them for so long without some actual response from you. Damn it, Olivet. You can't be such a hypocrite that you condemn us to die in the name of your personal sense of morality. I know your politics, and I never thought you'd actually leave men for dead. Please reconsider this. Oh, they were left over here to die. Hear that, Piper? Anything good? No. Oh, we got a stealth boy. Not that I ever use them. I always forget about them. And Piper's
That's in
off.
better shape than I expected.
She just ran. Alright. There's nothing else over here. Let us move on. Oh dear. Well, we know where they were buried, huh? Like how they just buried them in lockers. That had to be the most vile stench ever, because those have air holes in them. They're not airtight. Oh, hello. Hi, Curie. Piper, you want to meet Curie?
No use.
Curie.
Oh, another stranger. Are you Voltec security? I've waited so very patiently for you to arrive.
Who the heck are you?
I am a Contagions Vulnerability Robotic Infirmary Engineer, or CVR-IE. The human scientists call me Curie. Or more properly, they called me this when they were alive. I repeat, are you Voltec security?
These mole rats carry a disease. Do you know anything about it?
My poor little darlings. They were used to grow all manner of new and interesting pathogens. Then Volt citizens would be exposed to these viruses in the hopes that they would develop new antibodies. But they never got a chance to execute their plan. Clyde got out of his cage. He was smarter than the others. My sweet Clyde. He let out the others, and those poor scientists never stood a chance. Clyde's been dead for almost 2 centuries now, but his descendants have free run of the vault. I'm rambling. Where are my manners? Are you Voltec security?
Just open the door for me?
There is a proper procedure to do this thing. I am pleased to report I completed my primary duties 83 years ago. Thousands of pathogens were grown in the mole rat hosts. Then a single broad-spectrum cure was developed to treat them all. Very satisfying work for many decades. Now, please tell me you are authorized to release me from the lab.
Why can't you just leave?
I require verbal or written authorization. Actually, any Voltec employee, even you, could authorize me. You must be Voltec, or you couldn't possibly be here.
These mole
Just
rats
gonna keep
were
avoiding.
lab rats?
Why, yes. I've grown quite fond of them over the years, but they outlived their usefulness 83 years ago.
Vault tech is gone. No need to follow their rules anymore.
Gone? Truly? My programming doesn't cover this contingency. Please tell me the authority to release me was transferred to you.
Heck no. I'm just a girl looking for the cure to a mysterious disease.
You're quite certain? Perhaps you just misplaced your papers. In fact, papers are not strictly necessary, no?
Dude, I said I'm not with them.
My audio circuits must be malfunctioning. I distinctly heard you say yes. I'll open the door for you.
Yes,
Since you are a Voltec representative, I entrust you with the broad-spectrum cure I developed. If you have an equivalent to my digital Hippocratic oath, please use it quickly to prevent any undue suffering. However, be advised, there is only one dose left, and I can no longer make any more.
Wow.
If that is all, I am most eager to leave.
You only have one dose?
That is correct. There used to be more, but they all expired. Sadly, the organic compounds necessary to make more have all deteriorated.
Yeah, see, I'm infected too. See, what is it? Game doesn't care about stealth. You can't sneak past the objective and things. Game doesn't let you. Like the Deathclaw at the start. Certain scripted ones won't let you. I like the speech things in this.
You're just giving me the cure?
My primary responsibility is to obey the orders of specified Vault personnel, even if those orders violate my ethical matrix. But since you have graciously discharged me of this duty, I can give you the cure without directly disobeying my previous order. And if you happen to use the cure to save a life, then this is just a happy coincidence, no? Hopefully now I can properly further my scientific research. Since my job here is done, I think I will follow you out.
Alright. Hey, bobblehead. Bobblehead.
Perfect.
I was gonna install a mod for the bobbleheads last night, and I didn't get around to it. What do we got? I'm being mean. Still fun, it just doesn't matter because nothing you say really matters in this game. Just who you talk to and when. That is kind of one of the truth things is the dialogue ultimately doesn't let you be good or bad. It's like almost strictly down to your actions. You know? It's like, and it's just, are you going to murder NPCs? That was one of the things about the game, is it didn't really kind of let you have a positive or negative path. It kind of just, you know, you were going to, you know, if you were going to be bad, you just had to shoot people. That was kind of it. So, yeah, I will admit that was one of the things about the game. But otherwise, it's like one of those little flavor things that just kind of got left out. We are entrusting you with a mission that is critical to all humanity. Vault 81 will be used to wipe out diseases we know it's in the human race. Your partition of the vault has been equipped with state-of-the-art medical research equipment, including the new Contagions Vulnerability Robotic Infirmary Engineer, aka Curie. There's centuries worth of biological and chemical supplies, there are genetically adapted mole rats, and most important, the vault is full of test subjects. As with all great progress, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. You will be infecting people of the vault with diseases in an attempt to have them develop antibodies. Some may not survive, but you must ensure that a breeding population is always maintained. It will take many generations, but the proper procedures you should with the proper procedures, you should be able to develop a disease-resistant group of humans. Your work will be the work of generations. Each generation of scientists must Select a chief scientist. Curie will make the cure. Will make sure that each reads this mission statement to keep the vault focused over the centuries. We wish you the best of luck. Such is the nature of speech in the majority of games, to be fair. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Fallout 3 kind of did it really well. Fallout New Vegas, they almost kind of railroaded you, like, you know, New Vegas kind of lets you be a bit, you know, kind of middle ground. New Vegas kind of pulled you in, you know, pick, you know, and Skyrim kind of almost did the same thing. You know, if you wanted to experience like half the story, you had to pick. So yeah, there were cases like, you know, it just something made it feel like you had more of a choice than others, when ultimately you actually really didn't. That was kind of one of the things. Yeah, now in the very old Fallout games, in the very, very old Fallout games, like Fallout 1 and 2, oh yeah, your speech mattered a lot. Because you could say something wrong and completely blank out an entire portion of the game. And in fact, you could make it so you couldn't actually beat the game. You could actually screw yourself entirely in Fallout 1 and 2. So yeah, in the originals, speech really did matter. It was actually a very, very key point. You had to talk to people correctly, or an entire portion of the game was just not accessible. Let's see. Date of last data purge. Okay. Personnel. Entries are personnel work property. Curie. Do not read. Yes, this means you, Dr. Collins. Initializing Greetings Laboratory. Let's see. You could doom civilizations by saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Yeah, that was true. A lot of games have really moved away from that. I think they did it to kind of make them more accessible, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I kind of appreciate not being able to accidentally doom an entire half of the game, but it sometimes would be nice to have the option. But, yeah, a lot of games have sort of kind of moved away from that. I mean, I guess it has to do with size too, because games are so much bigger now, and they take so much more effort to put into them. And you know, some people will play a game once, and so I suppose even from the developer's angle, it's like, do you want to create a game where potentially half of your work never gets seen? Now, of course, that's per player, and overall, you know, like half your player base may go one way and half the player base may go the other, but I don't know. I don't know if it's accessibility or just change in taste. You know, I mean, change in taste of gaming happens as well. So it's you know, gaming evolves, gaming changes, gaming has its own politics and everything. And while there's certainly a market to that level of game effect from dialogue, it's risky at a point. Risk doesn't make shareholders happy. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, because like, you know, shareholders are now a big thing. You have to please the public. A game like Fallout 1 and 2, yeah, they had a dev team, but it was smaller. And now when you've got thousands of people working on thousands of graphics, and you know, you have to funnel millions of dollars into a project, you can't be a small studio anymore. So, you know, shareholders ultimately determine, you know, you don't want to make a risky game, because then that pisses the shareholders off, and then you're screwed. Whereas, you know, indie developers have a lot more chance to kind of make those style of games. Which is why indies are so big now, is because they can make the games that big companies just can't risk. Which makes sense. I've been ordered by Dr. Collins to add an entry into this terminal. Dr. Collins is was most insistent that this is my terminal. I explained several times that robots cannot own property as per Robco policy, but his orders were most clear and insistent. I will comply with Dr. Collins' wishes and maintain a log when ordered to. Colleagues. I have completed my analysis and integration of the data to make me a capable research assistant. I have been commanded to provide an assessment of my colleagues. Dr. Flint is objectively brilliant, although Dr. Collins repeatedly calls him brusque. But I find Dr. Flint's commands and speech patterns easier to parse. His observations are always very astute, and I'm learning much about working with cell cultures from him. Monsieur Bureau is perfectly acceptable to work with. He performs menial tasks which my programming is perfectly suited for, such as carrying heavy lab equipment. This is strange because my capabilities for such tasks are far beyond those of a human male. I am told by Dr. Collins that this is a sign of respect that Monsieur Bureau is making. This does not compute. In other words, he is doing the work for you. Error in cache integer. Ooh. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Let's see. Fallout 4 was never going to be a flop, though. Big name series like this is enough people who will buy it just from the brand recognition. Well, I mean, yes and no. Because, I mean, when Fallout 4 came out, a lot of people were, you know, very critical of it, you know, saying, oh, they're using the old engine, that, you know, it wasn't as good as Fallout 3 or New Vegas, it was boring, you know, the whole main arc of the story, even I admit, is boring, you know. I give two shits about Sean. I don't care. I'm more into exploring the world. I don't care about Sean at all. And I mean, you know, the nitty-gritty of the game is fun, and that's what's enjoyable about it. But it was a bit rough on the acceptance, and they might have known that because the engine they were using was old. You know, they were developing Fallout right at the very, I mean, pretty much, it was the very end of the life cycle of the engine. You know, it was the Skyrim engine and the Fallout 3 engine, or wait, was it the same engine? I can't remember, but yeah. It was the same engine that Fallout was, that Skyrim was made on, and they had started development of Fallout 4 just before they were already working on the new engine. So a lot of people were like, well, graphically it doesn't amaze either, compared to some of their new games, you know, because it used the old engine. So, and, you know, of course, Fallout VR is being very critical as well because of all its problems. Understandable, but some people are just assholes. It's like, go in the discussion section of Fallout VR and look at all the complaints, and some of them are just like, Jesus, calm down, people. Unless it got hella bad reviews and too many fans hated it, which would doom Fallout 5. Alright, Rick, have a good one. Just putting more effort into it with more story choice would have been a good investment, in your opinion. And if it was good, it would have sold about the same, maybe slightly more. If it was bad, it would have hurt them. Risk versus reward. Yeah, it's... I mean, let's be honest. Let's take a look at big game companies these days. Look at what they're doing. People are starting to become very underwhelmed with what a lot of AAA game companies are coming out with, and that's not even including the whole loot box shit. You know, and of course everyone is now, you know, their own critic. And not saying anybody here talking is that, but you know, it's like now it's the big thing. Now it's the big thing that everyone has to tear everything apart. And that's, you know, how the internet is now. You know, and you know, criticism is fine. There was actually one thing I saw that's like, the point of a critic is to, if as a critic you make somebody not want to create anymore, you've failed as a critic. Because what you're meant to do is help them realize what the shortcomings were and make them want to improve it. Whereas if you just rip it apart, then they don't want to create anymore, and therefore you failed. But, you know, AAA gaming is becoming very, very critical these days. And, you know, with Bethesda itself being known for making great games, but they're known for making great games, but they're also known for making buggy as hell games. So it's like they compensate on either side of the floor, but I don't know. There could be a whole discussion. I mean, you could go, way into all kinds of depth. Gaming is so huge now that there's so many branches of it, so many variables. It's got its own freaking politics. It's got its own economy. It's really its own nation at this point. And there's just so much that can be discussed about it. So, again, you've got the multiplayer shooters and games as service. Yeah, there's all kinds. There's all kinds now. It's a big thing. And I mean, I'll kind of wrap up on what I'm talking about this and get back to actually playing the game. One of the things, we're kind of pointing to signs that we may be pushing for a very small gaming crash, like what happened in the 80s, with E.T. and all that. Because with the whole loot box thing going on and a lot of stuff like that, people are starting to become very, very sketchy of especially the big companies. And there's signs that we could be heading towards a very minor gaming crash. Maybe not. It might avoid. It might dodge. But it's sort of lying in that very. It could swing either way at the moment. It's very, very iffy. Right now, it's kind of maybe going a little bit heavier towards the positive, but it really depends on the whole loot box, EA, NBA 2K, what's it, and all that shit that's happening. So there's a whole thing going on. So you don't have any problem with the game itself, and Bethesda as a studio just take offense to them using the Fallout name for a game that has nothing to do with what Fallout is really about. I don't know. I mean, to me, I came into Fallout at Fallout 3. Now, I have played Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, and I love them, so I can understand if Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 is where you started. Fallout 3 and beyond has become a different game, and especially Fallout 4 just feels different. And it took me so long to kind of really grasp what felt different about it, because I mean, it's post-apocalyptic. I love post-apocalyptic. That's Fallout to me. Vault exploring is Fallout to me. Vault tech is Fallout to me. Dialogue is Fallout to me. So that was one of the things that kind of pulled me back a little bit. Admittedly, Fallout is always very single palette. It's always brown or green. And, I mean, New Vegas was very yellow. Fallout 3 was very green. Fallout 1 and 2 was very brown. And then you get to Fallout 4 and it's very colorful. And there's all kinds of... And, I don't know, I guess... I don't know. It is Fallout, it's just... There's little... The sharp flavor isn't there because there's not as many vaults in this one. To me, there's only a few vaults, and I loved exploring the vaults and learning about, what vault tech was up to. And that is such a passive thing in this game. And and that's one of the things that it lacks that kind of very pungent, very strong flavor, and instead it kind of waters down just a little bit. But I still love it. I still love it as a game. The mechanics I like, the exploring I like, and but it does have a kind of watered down Fallout feel. But I still love the game. So, and you probably do too. So, you don't mind the new art direction, you like that, honestly? Yeah. I think too, it was just the main storyline. That was another thing that kind of takes you out, In Fallout 3, they let you get to know your father. In Fallout New Vegas, you you kind of understandably have the grudge against the guy that shoots you in the head. And in Fallout 4, hey, my baby is taken that I took 5 minutes to get to know. I don't care about the baby. And, you know, the husband, I've talked to the husband for 2 minutes, I don't care, you know. And so Fallout 4 kind of gives you this direction that you just kind of don't care about. And so, you know, and you know, Fallout 1 kind of gave you a timer, because, you know, you gotta save your vault and find the water chip, and then eventually you find out the world is bigger. And Fallout 2 was kind of a similar, you start out as a tribe, and, you know, stuff is going on, and the world gets bigger. And in Fallout 4, it's like, the world is bigger. You know, you don't get introduced to a bigger world, the world is just bigger. So, that's kind of what it feels like. But, you know, let's see, it takes away a lot of the RPG elements. You're told your exact backstory and your motivation without making you want to care about that as a player. Yeah, see, I mean, that's what I was talking about, you know. It's like, I don't care. I don't care about Sean. I care about everything else that's going on. You know, I don't care about Sean at all. You know. And I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like that you as a character can talk now. I actually like it because, I mean, inevitably your character had dialogue anyway, just never spoken dialogue. The only difference now is the dialogue your character has is it's spoken. You know, and of course they kind of give it more of a narration. And I know some people didn't like that, it was a shock to them, but I liked it. But yeah, it takes away some of the RPG elements of it. So your character is less your own and a bit more story driven. You know, and I get, my guess is in Fallout 5, when eventually that happens, of course next Skyrim's come out, because we know the pattern that all works in. It's probably going to be 6 more years before we see Fallout 5. You know, they might have learned from that and undo that, so you get more of a... I'm willing to almost bet when Fallout 5 comes out, you will be much more... It'll be much more RPG than it ever was before. Because they tried something this version, and a lot of people didn't like it, so... They'll move on to the next. Anyway, sorry for my ranting. Sorry that I'm not playing the game. I'm sitting here at the terminal. I guess I could have been playing the game if I wasn't reading terminals, but you know. But yeah, there's a whole lot to go on to that. Let's see. You decide your motivation was that Cornflakes had a cool gun, and you wanted to, Kellogg, and you wanted to find him to get the gun. The problem with the spoken dialogue is it wiped out half their VA budget, so I'm sure it's why a good chunk of the choices. The choice of speech was missing or pointless. I mean, too, Fallout never had a big voice budget. It's always like the same 3 voice actors. Same with Skyrim. They get replaced. They get recycled a lot. I mean, you know, here's the thing. Skyrim, I could not get into that. I modded the game and then created a different backstory for myself and then suddenly enjoyed the hell out of it. But the actual base of Skyrim, I didn't care because it's like, oh, it's 2 kingdoms fighting again. Oh, and then there's the Dwemmers that have disappeared, you know, this race have disappeared and nobody knows anything about it. It's the same damn medieval story that has been told since the beginning of medieval stories. I'm bored of it. So, you know, I threw in a few mods and I went, okay, now I've got a backstory that I'm going to follow. Ah, this game is so brilliant now. And then I loved Skyrim. I played so much Skyrim. But yeah, it was just, you know, sometimes you have to create your own because the main's just not doing it for you. And I just didn't give 2 shits about the main story in Skyrim either. Even though it was good, it's not my cup of tea. I'm not big into medieval. I like future post-apocalyptic. Medieval is just boring to me. I'll probably get lynched for saying this, but I hate Game of Thrones. I found it boring. I was bored to tears. I watched 2 seasons of it to try to give it a chance, thinking it's gonna pick up, and I just went, oh, I'm bored. I don't know how anyone likes this. I'm bored. It's just kingdoms fighting. It's the same story. It's Skyrim. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. That's my rant. I know I've been probably standing here. But anyway, it's Tales of Two Cities. But like again, true. True. I mean, I would be hypocritical if I said that you know, Fallout isn't the same. You know. It's just, it's got the different flavor I like. I like post-apocalyptic. You tell that story in post-apocalyptic, I'm interested. You tell that story in medieval, I'm bored. It's that. So to me, it's not saying that any of it's bad. It's just, it's not my flavor. So for anyone that says, oh, it's good, you just don't like, you know, terrible. It's like, no, I know it's good. It's just, it's not what I enjoy. All right, distress. Here we go. Sorry. Usually agitated, he would leave his quarters after a morning meal. Dr. Collins assures me that this state is temporary and that Monsieur Burrow is merely overwhelmed by the... Another error. Dr. Burrow is deceased. Post-mortem indicates he expired from a severe cardiac arrest brought on by advanced age. He died at 5:01 a.m. shortly after waking. In accordance with the doctor's pre-existing orders, the body was cremated and placed in the specified urn alongside Dr. Collins and Flint. Dr. Burrow was of great assistance in continuing the work left to us by the others. My last order is to continue working on our projects alone, so that our deaths will not be in vain. My processors are fully committed to furthering the study of pathogens and viruses for the betterment of mankind. To honor the last request, message ends. Collins Archive. Boot up. Game of Thrones method of success. Make a full episode-length trailer for the next episode, then release it while saying it's an episode, then repeat forever. Yeah, I tried so hard to get into it because everyone loved it, and I was just like, I'm bored. But, you know, then again, see, here's the thing. A lot of people are bored with Walking Dead. I love Walking Dead. Why? Because it's post-apocalyptic and zombies. But everyone, I know so many people, I know the seasons are like getting down, they're saying like it's the worst watched season yet. Me, I love it. Everyone else is like, oh, I quit at the prison, it's boring now, you know. But me, again, it's that flavor that I like. So of course it makes me a little bit biased. So I have a little bit of bias, and I will admit that openly. So we're hamstrung with only 3 researchers. Decided to make a few modifications to this Mr. Handy robot. Should be really useful for speeding up some of our lab work. I've been pretty anxious since administrative day. As if the world ending wasn't enough, I'm very concerned about Olivette's motives. Dusting off some of my old robotics chops has been just the distraction I've needed. Oops. Damn. Go back. I've decided to write a suite of custom personality settings for the robot. She's a little bit of Liza. I really hope she's got into a revolt down in DC, and a little bit of grad school fling from Versailles back in 46. I'm loading her databanks with every great body of work I have access to here. Kant, Einstein, Bohr, Darwin, Curie, Faraday, Turing, Braun. She'll have so much to learn. It's already made her feel so much more like a peer in the lab as opposed to as an appliance. I'm calling her Curie. I know. I was never a subtle man. Curie's been doing great. Flint's finally stopped threatening me like a crazy person for insisting we address her as a human, and I swear Burrow is differential to her in a way that reminds me of seeing him around Rebecca back during the drills. It's actually endearing to see. Most importantly, and perhaps more surprisingly, she's bringing a sense of normalcy to the lab, keeping us all a bit more grounded. Anything to keep our minds off the situation we're in is all too welcome. I've tuned her personality matrix a lot, and it's beginning to feel wrong to manipulate her. I'm going to leave her programming alone for now and just see how she evolves as she keeps learning more. Haven't touched this terminal in years, not since I gave it to Curie on her own. Seeing her reaction to having something of her own was transformational. It just seemed wrong to violate that, and so it's truly been for her eyes only ever since. This final entry is an exception, and I suppose it's being written out of habit, as a man used to a lifetime of recording his experiments. We lost Flint today, and Burrow has to spend more time helping me around the lab than actually performing research these days, so if only to report findings, Curie has been a remarkable success. She transcended my expectations of robotic programming. Her personality feels as genuine as my own. Her interest in scientific research is insatiable, and seeing her struggle with concepts like mortality has been completely moving. Truly, she is my greatest work. I only hope that one day she can see more of the world. If only I could be there to witness her reaction to the blue skies and butterflies she's only heard me sing about. Whew. Ugh. I think I chased everyone off with that with that rant. Everyone's like, she's not playing the game. She's been standing there for 30 minutes. She's probably been standing there for 30 minutes, just rambling on about games. I chose a poor spot to do it. I tend to do that when I'm like reading terminals. I could have been like out exploring before I did that. Sorry for everyone that was like, sorry especially for everyone on YouTube. Everyone that's gonna watch this video on YouTube and be like, that was just half the video spent her yammering on. So, hi. Well, I guess we're gonna get out of here. Get that door open. Hey guys, didn't expect this to open, did you?
I heard Diamond City is pretty nice, tucked behind some walls. Sounds safe enough.
Actually, you know what really concerns me? They didn't know about the other section of the vault. There's a door and elevator leading right to it. You know, there's the hidden one downstairs, but then there's this door that nobody ever tried to get in. Did nobody ever figure that out?
Watch out for the maintenance. It never ends around here.
Who has time to do this sort of cleanup?
Stay safe, ma'am.
Alright, come on in, Carrie. Carrie. Piper. You let Piper on, Carrie. Come on. It's okay, it's just an elevator. Oh well.
We must consult the professors at the university. They could provide many answers.
So he put his timestamp up at the start of the ramp to skip it. Door that's never opened their whole life, and they just don't care, even when it does open. Yeah, that was always the weird bit. It's like, sure, it was, you know, locked by a terminal, but did nobody in 200 years decide, hey, where the fuck does this door go?
Looking for a meal? See Maria. She runs the Sunshine Diner in the atrium.
Ashes? Where the hell are you, Ashes? Better not be out running around again. How's it
The
going?
cure. You found it.
How is Austin doing? Do you think he'll survive the cure?
He's been unconscious since shortly after you left.
Can we split it?
Give him half, and I'll take the other half.
It doesn't work that way. Half a dose won't cure him. Stop being selfish and just give me the serum.
Fine.
Here, take the cure and use it on the boy.
Only one dose? I hope this works.
What the fuck?
If it doesn't, there won't be anything to analyze to try again. Let's hope this works.
I heard you had returned.
Some of the dialogue is weird in this. Alright, jab him in the butt.
It shouldn't be long.
How do you know? How do you know it should be long?
Where am I?
You're
Thank
in
God.
the clinic. You were really sick, Austin. Our visitor from the Commonwealth saved your life.
Really? Gee, thanks, man.
I was worried to death about you, Austin. What
You were
got
gonna
into
charge
your
me
fool
5
head?
fucking
Going into a
caps to
place
tour
like
this place.
Something exciting
You didn't
ever
want to do it for
happened to you.
free. You
I
owe me
guess
now.
when Sue was in there.
Well, if it hadn't been for our friend here, you might have died. Thank you. I know you made sacrifices to help him. I know Dr. Pinsky will be grateful. For my part, I'd like to give you this syringe. I had it for years and never really had a use for it.
She's not the only one. The whole vault is thankful. I'd like to give you a room here in the vault. A place you can call your own. It's in the main hall, on the left as you get off the elevator. Once again, thank you.
Can I go see
I hope
her?
you enjoy your accommodations. I wanted to say thank you again for what you did for Austin. You've opened a lot of eyes around here, including my own. I had no idea of the dangers Vault Tech had hidden away so close to home. I can't believe so many died just behind our walls.
What do you know about Vault Tech?
I'm afraid not much. I've spent my entire life being thankful for the Vault, for the walls that protected us over 2 centuries. But not once have I had contact with them.
If Vault Tech had lived to go through with their plan, this place would be wiped out.
I don't doubt that one bit. I hate to think of what they had planned for us. But on the good side, you made a real impression on our anti-Commonwealth people. They're realizing outsiders really can be trusted, and do more good than just providing resources. You'll always be welcome here.
Well,
And I hope you make a habit of visiting.
I
Having
am
a
an
trusted
extreme exception.
outsider would help serve as a reminder that the Commonwealth isn't something to fear and avoid.
I'm curious as to what Volktech was studying beyond our walls.
Well, where is Curie?
A moment, please. I have been trapped so many years. I believe it's customary to thank you for your role in saving me. My entire life has been in this vault. I have analyzed and learned everything there is to know here. So now I must see the rest of the Commonwealth, consult with scientists, unearth more data to challenge my hypothesis.
What are you looking to learn up there?
Down here is an enclosed system, and without the introduction of new mutagens, viruses, or bacteria, it is quite dull, medically speaking. The world up there is infinitely more complex. Who knows what diseases can be found and studied?
After the bombs, the Commonwealth is a little lacking in the science department.
But surely there is still men of learning out there, and if nothing else, there is data. I can see you already have company. I do not wish to intrude, but I must ask. Please, madame, can you take me with you?
It's no picnic up there. Anything you can do to help us survive?
But of course, I have been equipped with medical equipment. If you become injured in our journeys, I can administer stim packs. I also have defensive capabilities, a laser. But surely there's little reason to use that.
Hey, yeah.
Come along, then.
Excellent. We must embark at once.
I don't actually want Piper to go there, but I want to actually send Curie there. Piper? Piper.
Hey, Piper.
Heading my way?
Sure, let's go.
Will do.
You know, your public occurrences should have scientific articles.
You've never met our readers, have you?
There we go. Whoa! Calm down there, Chica. Alright.
Hey,
Shoot. Probably have something you can use.
Alright, let's give you some more stuff. So the syringer, how much does that thing weigh? .2, it's not actually bad. Oh, sledgehammer. That weighs a lot. The nuclear grenade, the pulse grenade. And take the machete. Take the pipe wrench. Take that. Keep the syringer for now. Though I don't think I have ammo for it. Aren't you going to die now? So many have died. Weren't there only 3 people? One good person from the outside, everyone can be trusted. Well, see, the thing of it is, they did say that an adult would have been able to deal with the disease. A child, however, wouldn't have been able to. So, granted, I take a permanent HP hit, but as an adult, it won't actually kill me. So they did cover that in, oh, I forgot I had that. Jesus Christ. I need to equip that. So they did cover the... There was good reason why I won't die. Unless you were talking about them. Which you might have been. Alright. Plus I gain extra movement speed. I can move a little bit faster. Alright, Curie, good luck to you. Now, they said left as I get off the... As I get off the elevator? Because I'm supposed to have a room
Damn
here?
it. I was just holding that wrench.
Not that I'm going to use it. I never use it, but... that means I should be able to take things in here. Oh, look. Oh, this must be my room. Oh, yeah, I can put the bobbleheads up. It's not looking too bad. Now I can loot. Which should mean... Buddy.
You want a good meal, see Maria at the cafeteria.
Bet you know where a
We'll
good
hook you
meal
up.
is.
Aaron told me how you saved Austin's life. I guess you're not bad for an outsider.
Yeah. That also reminds me... I've leveled up. Right, I probably need to take the armoring perk. I started thinking about that because I can't repair any of my armor, my power armor. There we go. Perfect. How's it going?
Excuse me.
Anything I can get you today?
Let's see what you got.
Great. I have all sorts of odds and ends.
Let's see, do I have anything to sell? Probably not. Oh, I got some psycho. You can have that. You can even have a sweet roll. You cannot have my plushies, though.
The day past 199.
But I should be able to, yeah. Whoop. Whoop. And I can just loot this place now.
Need to check the water pumps again. The water smells funny.
I like how no one seems to care. It's like I've done them a favor now. I can just loot the place.